The landscapes of our lives are for learning, where experience is our teacher. When we gather together and share our resources, we are destined to love and thrive. Hey everybody, Maureen here from Landscapes for Learning, sharing more mind-body resources to help you lift the heavy weight of being human. No matter who you are, successful, rich, poor, weak, strong, everyone needs help lifting the heavy weight of being human. Life is suffering, life is hard. We all need help. We don't often get education in how to manage being human. And in some senses, we're distracted away often by our culture and how it steals our attention, how it provides us with all these external solutions for our inner struggle. And we rely on that and become dependent on that. And that keeps us further away from our own inner resources. So at Landscapes for Learning, my job, my passion is to share resources. We all have resources. One of the things that I noticed, which is very upsetting and drives my passion to help people find their resources, is that when I was teaching high school and I would ask students to write about themselves, or they were preparing to write their college essay and they had to write one positive characteristic about themselves, something positive about themselves, a strength. I asked the same thing of clients, what are your strengths? What are your resources? And sadly, most people this is a course of almost 20 years plus of working with people, when they're asked about their strengths or their resources, they reply that they don't think they have any. It's never occurred to them to look inside, or they've never been guided inside by someone else, or they've never slowed down enough or become regulated enough in their system to be able to slow down and be mindful and reflect. Most people, I believe, are just not taught how to understand their own inner functioning and who they are. Our culture doesn't have rituals around this, unfortunately. So I find it very sad that most people think that they don't have resources. And when I reflect back to them, things that I've heard them say, or the very little I know of them, usually it's on a first meeting, I've already identified some of their strengths, their ability to engage, their ability to ask questions, their ability to look for help and receive help and be humble enough to want to learn and want to grow and want to care for themselves because they're with me in school trying to learn, or they're with me in mental health counseling trying to be better and to care for themselves. So we all have resources is the point. My point at Landscapes for Learning is to help people learn to self-study, to self-realize, I want to share mind-body tools from mental health, tools from physical health and physical fitness and functional medicine and interpersonal neurobiology and philosophy and Buddhism and the history of both East and West, tools and resources to help people know who they are for wisdom and wellness, to find their resources within. I think a lot of times we're encouraged to find resources out there. We're in a consumerist society, we're in a capitalistic society where people are always selling things. And I'm always encouraged by other people. They tell me, don't give your resources away for free. Don't give away, your wisdom for nothing. And I struggle with that because it should be everybody's freedom to know who they are. And as fellow humans, my feeling is that I want to share resources. I think when we share resources, we're all better. And so my resources are to help people become their own best teachers. I am a teacher by trade. Mental health counseling, I provide a lot of psychoeducation too. It's a teaching and learning role to some degree as well. I help people become their own best teachers, to meet themselves where they are, to assess the landscape of who they are and what's going on in their mind-body system, to know themselves so that they can then provide themselves with the appropriate curriculum for them, rather than just sort of looking outside to experts. I don't know who you are. Nobody can know you better than you. So my goal and my role and my passion at Landscapes for Learning and as a workout within behavioral health coach is to help you look inside, to point out that you are your best resource. You're probably thinking you're your own worst enemy and that you present a lot of the own obstacles in your life. And you do. And a lot of that is because of ignorance or for a lot of different reasons. We are our own worst enemy. We are our own obstacle. A lot of times, the way we think, the way we feed ourselves, the way we don't move or care for ourselves. And that might be because of the way we've been brought up, affected by life, or we're simply lazy, or we're distracted, or our culture has manipulated us to the point where our attention just isn't on caring for ourselves. And dedicating our life's purpose to getting stronger and more flexible to lift the heavy weight of being human. It's hard being you. So I want to help people by showing them their own resources and also providing them with the information they need to understand who they are. When you start to self-study, it is free. Your own self-knowledge is your best medicine. It is your solution. And I can help you become a better teacher to yourself, your own best friend, your own counselor, your own educator, your own fitness coach, your own dietitian and nutritionist, right? And you need to amass some information, obviously, from people who are experts in those fields, trustworthy, strength-based, honest people of integrity who do have information and wisdom. So I've gone out onto the outer landscapes and collected and vetted a lot of those resources. I want to, and I've paid money to become educated and bought all kinds of books and taken courses and done my own learning, but I want to make all of that information free to people who don't have access and don't have the resources to do what I did. So in that sense, I am not trying to, make money. I'm trying to gift the resources that I was able to and grateful for having been able to have access to and share those with others. Far beyond just the high school classroom where I used to work, and to more people than just the people I see as a mental health counselor and just my behavioral health clients. I can only see so many people in one day, in one lifetime. Thank God we have the internet. So I, in some of the videos, I share the wisdom of my own learnings through my own yoga practice and writing and journaling and on my whole mental health and physical health journey in my own life and things I've learned. So I share my own personal wisdom, but also share the wisdom of many, many other people who can help you know you and get to the point where you understand yourself well enough so that you can care for yourself. A big part of it is being honest, turning inward, being honest, and turning inward and having stillness and reflecting isn't easy if your nervous system is completely dysregulated, if you have physical and mental challenges, right? But it's still your responsibility to have to work hard to write those things. Now, I can give you tools. I can give you insight with information to further understand yourself so you can do your work. Nobody can do the work for you. I think one big problem is that people read books, they read self-help things, they take courses, they do things, and they get lost in the content of those things rather than understanding the content of who they are, and then applying some of that information specifically to the specific information and specific person that is here. So I don't think we do enough self-study. We do an awful lot of self-help study out there, but we don't do a lot of what's in here. And we have to know who we are and what we need in order to find the correct information and find those resources and apply them appropriately. So that is my job, is to help you do that, to encourage people to do it, to give you tools and resources to do it, and to support you throughout your journey with encouragement. It's not easy being human. It takes a lot of training and work. So it just so happens that life isn't about making a living on the outer landscape and being a success on the outside in the world of, the economy and everyday life. It's about building a richness within yourself and becoming a person of integrity in mind and body and spirit. And that takes a lifetime to achieve. And it can be the purpose. It should be, I think, my opinion is, it should be the purpose of life, is just to continue to learn more and more about who you are so you can take the best care of yourself. And when you're better in caring for yourself, you don't have those dependencies on others. You don't have a dependency on a system. You don't weigh down other people. You are stronger to help them lift the heavy weight of being human collectively. So we want the team to get stronger overall, right? We all have to do our part. And part of that is developing responsibility. And I mean response abilities, the ability to respond to whatever life throws at you, wherever you're born into, whatever circumstances. We don't get to choose that. But once we are where we are and we come to some basic awareness that we need to take responsibility for our lives, we need tools and we need teachers and we need guidance in order to do that for ourselves. It's training wheels. I'll run behind you and push you a little bit and give you the tools and experiences and support to ride that bike, but ultimately you have to do it, okay? I don't think we do a very good job in the education system of showing teenagers how to become human. We're losing the humanities. We're training teachers to teach according to ideological content instead of teaching humans. We don't understand that teachers are humans with nervous systems who are working with other humans who have nervous systems and all of what that entails. We don't teach human to human, we teach content and we assess progress. And it's very measurement oriented and artificial more than warm and human. So there's a big problem there. And I think that we need more information and more resources. Teachers need to be trained in nervous system health and be trained to teach human beings and to become, responsible for their own lives, their own humanity, and to be a model and mentor for young people to do the same. I think a lot of more work needs to be done in the area of parenting as well, because parents are kids' first teachers, and I think there's a lot of good intention among educators and parents, but there's just not a lot of resources and tools, and I think there's a lot of fear involved. And what I was saying before about relying on so-called experts, sometimes we because we don't know who we are, we're forced to trust other people, say people in higher education who are well-educated and academic and in the know, and parents who are young and have young children. We trust the people who are in an area that is not our expertise. And unfortunately, some of those people take advantage, manipulate, and are just flat out wrong about what the learning process really is, okay? Here's an example. In higher ed, professors are being asked to put sentences, language in their syllabi, assuring students that if they feel at all uncomfortable while they're learning, to let the teacher know right away, and that basically implying that you shouldn't be uncomfortable while you're learning. and that learning should not be an uncomfortable or agitating process. That is actually the history of evolution of the world, East and West, psychology, science, you name it. Learning is uncomfortable. It's about uncertainty, it's about ambiguity, it's about going from what's known and safe and secure to what's unknown, unsafe, insecure. That is a difficult process. There is challenge and pain and suffering involved, and that is actually the point. We don't teach kids that truth, that reality, that life is hard and learning hurts, and you will be offended and you will be stepped on, and people are evil and they're good, and that the world is a dangerous place. So rather than like trying to make the world not a dangerous place by being nice, it's ridiculous, okay? You need to strengthen students to be able to manage the difficulty of life. And yes, of course, we want to teach people to be kind and compassionate and to contain their evil. And part of that is getting to know yourself for wellness, right? Is to fully accept the fact that we do have maladaptive tendencies, and we do have evil within us just as much as we have strengths, we have weaknesses, right? It's learning, it's not pretending that that's not a thing or shaming people about that. It's looking at the reality of that, being honest, accepting it, and learning to respond to it, developing tools to contain all of that energy and to manage it and to make it constructive rather than destructive, and to teach kids to use anger when it's appropriate, to take it out of the back pocket and use it when it's appropriate, to take out aggression and use it when appropriate in a specific way, in a specific environment, for a specific end. It takes a lot of teaching. It takes a lot of parenting and effort and attention to do that. It's just like the analogy of a mother sitting on the couch and not wanting to get up and deal with her two kids squabbling on the floor. So she just yells from the couch at them, knock it off, right? Instead of getting up and going over and teaching and modeling and taking the time and effort to do that, to show kids, little humans, the way. Okay, we need to do that in education, the education system, all the way through higher ed. Okay, reassuring students that telling them that they shouldn't feel hurt or discomfort or anything as part of the learning process is the actual opposite and most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It makes absolutely no sense to me. We are weakening students. I saw it when I was a teacher. I was accused of being that tough love teacher that was, not a rule follower, I suppose, because I wasn't going to follow policies that I knew were weakening kids rather than strengthening them, or reinforce and live according to and teach according to policies that were antithetical to learning. The thing that I love and I've dedicated my life to, and antithetical to human health, frankly, in a sense of shared humanity. That's the other thing, that these ideologies and this content focus of teaching rather than teaching humans is really compromising health. Anyway, bit of a rant. So I hope to share resources on my channel, in my videos, to help people study themselves, to know themselves for wellness and wisdom, to be honest, to get healthy. And that is a difficult road. It's a road of purpose. It's a road that is painful and challenging, but ultimately very rewarding and fills you with vitality and good health. You will get stronger to lift the heavy weight of being human. And when you're super fit, lifting your own heavy weight of being you can help out other people lift their weight too. Teach them, help them, right? Show them how you strengthen yourself so that they can get fit right along inside you. Okay, so that's enough for today. Come back soon. I have more videos on some of what those strategies and tools are, interoceptive awareness training. I'm going to share all of the information from various resources, starting with some excerpts and quotes from some really good resources in mind, body, health, and to talk more about developing response ability, especially for teenagers and undergraduates, for young people, which will be relevant for teachers and parents also. So I'll see you next time. Take care.